Hello there, everybody. Just trying to not get in the way of my mic, as always. Not my mic, the camera. I just wanted to see how everybody is doing today on this wonderful Thursday afternoon for me here in Massachusetts and wherever it is by you. So today we're going to be focusing on some dies that have been released recently. This is what we call our Mighty Kind standalone die release. And this release is not a huge collection, but it is an amazing collection, I have to say. We have a lot of things going on. These released last week. And I feel like the design team, I talk about this all the time. You guys are always hearing me say it. But the design team did an amazing job with this release, as did the guests that we had joining us. So there's a lot of inspiration to be had. And I think the best way for you to get inspired is to head on over to the blog hop and check out what everybody created. As I see some of you guys are popping in, I am seeing hellos from Sue and Paula and Ms. Tamp and Cece. So hello to everybody. I'll just wait another moment while everyone gets settled and I will start talking to you about these products. I'm not planning a big project today just because, in all honesty, I just got a vaccine and I am feeling exhausted. So it's been a long day. So I'm going to be making sure to showcase the best of these products. And then again, you guys can go ahead on your way and check out to see what the other designers did with them. I don't want to miss any of these comments. And while I'm checking these out, this is a great opportunity for you to share this video while we're live, because that'll give you an opportunity to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. Had to switch to YouTube. Oh, and Nancy likes the shirt. Thank you. I thought it was cute. And I accessorized to match because I'm in full-on Halloween mode and I have been since October 1st. It's my favorite holiday. I can't. Candy and costumes, you can't go wrong. All right, so these dies, like I said, are kind of varied. There's something for everybody here. I feel like we also stepped out of our own box and created some dies that are a little more quirky, a little more like whimsical looking, but still having that same Altenew refined style that you guys have come to expect. So I'm going to start off with like a very, very versatile die set. Let me just get this out of the way because I don't need it until I pop you down. So right here, we have an amazing alphabet. This is the Mighty Alphabet die set, and we are calling it Mighty because it takes up space on your project. And I see that as a major plus because you can do a lot of things with having the sentiment be the focus. Typography and text art is still really popular in the design world. And this is a really easy way for you to add like a mega bold statement to your project. So this is the sample card that we have here, but of course there's a lot you can do with it. And these are nice and thin. So we have another stamp set and die set called the Tall Alpha. So this is taller than they are, but the concept is the same. So we wanted to have tall, narrow letters that you can use on a card project or even on a scrapbook, but it's not going to take up a lot of width of space on your card. So here's just hello, but you can also have a longer sentiment, put them a little bit closer together, and you'll be able to squeeze in a lot more letters that way, as opposed to something like our bold alphabet, which has chunkier letters. So you can see here how tall and lean they are. Sue, you're so cute. I'm just reading. She says I look spooktacular. You're adorable. So we have these amazing letters, and they're just narrow alphabets. So you don't really need to do much to them. You don't have to use stamp on them. You don't have to use pattern paper. I would say just get some solid colored cardstock and cut these out. So this is the Mighty Alphabet die set. Now let's continue on with some more text. So we have this really cute one here, and this is nice for encouragement cards. This is Way to Go. I don't know if one of the other girls has brought it up yet in Facebook Live, but we did change our die packaging recently to include more inspiration and more information. So you can see now we have these bifold inserts, And just like we have trifold stamp inserts for our 4x6 and 6x8 sets, we definitely wanted to give you guys more value for what you're getting. So in the past, I don't have an example right here. I wish I thought ahead to grab one, but our old die packaging was just a single card. And for our standalone dies, we wanted to give you more inspiration. So the project sample now is on the back, so we have room for that. We have the description of the die back here, which really is helpful. Honestly, like as a card maker and a crafter, I like getting to hear what the designer was inspired by when they created this product, because it could help me come up with new ideas to use it. So the description being on there, this is the same description that will be on the website, just with a little less info. On the website, there's a lot more like the die dimensions of each piece and so on. But this is just really helpful, I think, to have. And of course, the sample, sorry, the sample on the back is really, really helpful. So we've hopefully made it a lot better for you when you get these standalone dies, because we also know that dies are an investment no matter where you get them, just because they are made out of metal and there's a lot more cost involved. So we want to give you as much as you can for what you're buying. All right, we have one more that has a sentiment on it, and this is so sweet. This is Be Kind, and it's always a nice reminder for everybody to be kind to one another. And we have two dies here. So we have the original text, but then also this outline, like a little shadow that you can add in another color, complementary color. You can pop one up, leave one flat on the surface of your project. And again, that's another versatile one. We've got a project inspiration on the back for you. Okay, I will finish up with some of our florals and some geometrics, and then we will do a quick little project, like I said. Maybe even two. I have two in my head. We'll see how much I get to. So let's go to a geometric die. This is a cover die, the Simple Shapes die. And this is actually one that coordinates with a product we released, I think it was 2014. Either that or way early 2015, but I think it may have been our like second release ever, called Simple Shapes. And if you guys have ever done tangram puzzles, those are puzzles where you have usually like wooden pieces in certain shapes and sizes, and you would recreate images with those pieces. And we designed a stamp set and die set way back when that uses those shapes in that same proportion. So you can create tangram puzzles using the stamps. And now those same shapes have been arranged into a cover die. And right away, when I look at it, I see like stained glass, I see pinwheels. So if you look here, you can see it almost looks like we have these little pinwheels. We have a large pinwheel right here. It's really what you see in it. I like looking at shapes like this because if you want to bring out a certain part of it, you can just maybe do some inlaid die cutting and really get some unique looks out of this die. And if you have the complementary stamp set, you can stamp in those sections and color them really easily. So here is just a sample card where you would stamp in that area just to highlight and feature that pinwheel area. And again, if you're just joining us, these were actually released fairly recently. This is our Mighty Kind standalone die release. Another cover die we have is so cool. It is the Calming Reflection cover die. And if you cut this twice and stack it and rotate it, you get this really, really unique layered look. And, you know, we were inspired by the reflections of different things on water, or like, you know, how sometimes sea foam kind of crawls around on the surface of the water. So this is what that is inspired by. And now we get to what I think you guys are at Altenew for most of the time is flowers. So we do have 4 flower die sets in this release. One of them is definitely more whimsical. So this is what I was talking about earlier. We stretched our creativity a bit to try to give you something else, especially since we know a lot of you guys like more of the cutesy designs. So this one is just a charming, sweet little die set called the Lovely Envelope die set. And you can do a 2-layered envelope. So you get these 2 pieces here. It's not a true envelope, but it gives you the look of an envelope. And you can fill it with all these cute little flowers, hearts, and leaves and little decorations like that. So for this one, we do have a layering guide that's included just so that you can get that inspiration and layering information that you need. Another one that is layering here is the Painted Blooms die set. And this one has a kind of watercolory look. I actually think that the looser, less specific looking flowers are a lot easier to layer. So if you're new to layer die cutting, this might be a good place to start, because if you accidentally rotate a little piece the wrong way, it's not going to affect the overall look, because the intention is to have it more loosely created. So you can see that the areas aren't so specific and precise. Okay, a few more. Two are outlines. And what I mean by outlines is something like this and like this. So we have flowing foliage and rose queen. And these are dainty, delicate little dies. I think these would be so pretty if you cut them out in like our glitter cardstock, because they would just get that right little bit of shine and it would be spectacular. And you can also cut in dark contrasting colors. I think if you did silver glitter and contrasted it with like black cardstock, that would be phenomenal. Or you can even go in and ink blend behind each of the pieces, or do like an inlay die cut like you see over here. And then the last one is very unique, I say, and this is the pop-up Dahlia die. And this is a die set that you would cut once, and you see that most of the pieces don't cut through entirely. Let me grab the die and show it to you. And that allows you to curl up the corners a little bit. Oops, flying out of the packaging. You can see there's areas where it's connected. So these little lines are just going to cut out individual petals, but leaving part of it intact. So you can either leave them flat or you can curl them up, and it will cut the stem entirely. So you can cut it out in a separate piece and inlay it or pop it up, or you can just leave it as a negative portion. So you can see that here in the sample, and also on the front in this sample, that it's just left as a negative. So there are all the products from this die release. Give me a moment while I just pop you down and we'll get a little crafty today. I'm also going to check out some comments. Stacy loves my nails. Thank you. They are decals. They're not, I didn't paint them. So I used decals and put a top coat over it. And thank you for sharing. Erica says she shared, so I appreciate that. And Patricia loves the Dahlia die. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, let me just switch you guys down. And it should take a moment just to flip over. Okay. Sorry if this is shaky and dizzying, but I did move it over at the start of my video, so it wasn't blocking my face. Now I just want to readjust it to where it was before. Perfect. And why don't we start with this one? Because this is the one I was just showing you, the pop-up Dahlia die. And what I did beforehand is I went ahead and cut this out of some black cardstock. And I know this probably wouldn't be your first thought, but hear me out, guys. I was thinking, what if I take this, and you guys know how much I love the glitter cardstock. I just was talking about it. And we put some glitter behind it, so the glitter was peeking out behind that cardstock. I think it'd be really, really fun. So let me just cut a piece of white cardstock to be a front card panel. Those of you who know me know that I very rarely craft directly onto card bases. I find it easier to craft on a card panel, and I find it easier to store if I cut on a card panel. So I'm just going to do that. Let me trim it a little bit smaller. I think I was a little off in my trimming right now. I'd rather it be slightly smaller than the black and not slightly bigger, because I don't want any of that white to pop out. All right, just like that. And what I was saying before is you can pop up these pieces. Now, in addition to being able to pop up, they also have this beautiful detailing in it. So right when you die cut it, it automatically will take all of those little score lines inside each petal, and inside each leaf, we have those little veins. And that will do that automatically. So you don't even have to worry about adding additional detail. This is a simple one if you just wanted to pop it down, lift up the petals, and slap on a sentiment. That would be good, but you know I'm doing more. So let's take our glitter cardstock, and I'm going to use the Forest Canopy set. And I'm trying to think how I want to do this because I think I might want to use more than one green tone. And that's because I think I want a different tone behind the stem than I have on the leaves themselves. So let me just peel these up a little bit so we can get a head start on what this is going to look like. Just like this. And you can see that when the recipient gets the card, they will be able to see what's underneath those leaves. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. And again, this is not the typical, I would say the typical way to do this would be to cut it out of white because, you know, it's bright and cheerful, but I'm going for bold. Or maybe it's because, you know, it's Halloween and I've been wearing Halloween clothes all month, but I'm in a black kind of mood right now. Nancy said she received her dies. That is great, Nancy. I'm so excited that you got them already. You must have placed your order early. She knew right away what she wanted. I love that. Oh my gosh. You guys, I don't think you can appreciate fully how spectacular this looks behind there. Oh, wow. I love it. It's better than I could have imagined. Look at that. Okay, so I'm actually going to flip this and work backwards. Maybe what I'll do is one area here will get one color, and then I will take a different one, well, obviously not one with a cutout, and put it on the other side. So you'll get a little two-toned effect when you look at the front. So let's pick two colors. I'm thinking these two would look lovely. And I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors, and this could be as ugly as we want on the back. I am serious. You don't need to do a great job cutting these at all, because what I'm going to do is just mount them behind and trim off the excess. And once I put it on my card panel, you're not going to see whatever hideousness is behind there. So I'm going to leave this pretty much as a straight edge right there. And let's actually adhere some of this down first. So I just have a little bit of tape runner. I'm going to be careful not to put it on the leaf itself, just because remember, I'm popping that up. So I don't want it to be adhered to this cardstock, the glitter cardstock. And that's probably all I need, just right over here. Maybe a little bit more right in that spot, but I'm going to be leaving this area for some other colors. So let's do the lighter green. And I'm just going to tuck it up in this area right here and adhere that down. Now, since this is tape runner and this is glitter, it's not going to be a super strong bond right now. And that is okay, because I am going to go back and put more adhesive like all over the back of this. Okay, so I'm just trimming off some of this excess. And you can already see how pretty this is. Love it. Okay, so now let's go with the darker green tone. And Stampin' with the Hounds says she loves the glitter. It's so pretty. And I'm telling you, it looks pretty on screen, but it is like 3 times or more, 3 times as pretty in real life. So I don't want to waste this. So I'm actually just going to take a little tiny square. Let's see how much I need here. Just a smidge. And I'll probably trim off a little more. Yeah, this looks like if I maneuver it, there we go. Okay, so I'll stick that down as well, just like I did before, going around the edges. And put a little bit right there as well. Okay, so now this will get adhered. And now we have a two-toned green situation. And I will put some foam tape behind these, because what I don't want to happen is if I put this through the mail, I don't want all of this collapsing, because the recipient should not have to take the time to pop these up. So we do have a mega roll of foam tape. This is the Altenew Instant Dimension foam tape. that I always laugh because I cannot even get it in the frame. It's always too big to get completely in the frame. I'm just going to be trimming off these little tiny squares and popping them underneath. If you're just joining us, please make sure to share while we are live, because then you have an opportunity to win a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store. And you can use that to buy anything here that you're seeing on this release. But at the same token, you can buy anything you may have on your wish list. Maybe there's something you've been eyeing for a while, and it's finally time for you to get it. So these little pieces of foam tape are just going to make sure that it doesn't collapse once it's traveling through the mail. And again, this is one of those cards where it's going to look better when you look at it at all different angles. Okay, so you're not just looking at it straight on. You are going to be appreciating it from all angles. Yeah, I'll just pop this other little guy in there just to prop up that leaf, and we'll stick a little more underneath, and we get to work on the area behind the blossom. And Stampin' with the Hounds also says it's a great way to use glitter scraps. That is a great idea, because you know I am not throwing any of this out. This is way too precious for me to throw out. So I will be packaging this back up with the other glitter cardstocks and saving it for a future project. So this is a great way that you can repurpose those scraps and bits of paper. Oh, hey, Lilith is here. Lilith is on our team. You guys may know her from videos and lives and other things that she does. And Christine also just popped in, and a few of you guys have shared it once again. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to finish these last two leaves, and we've got decisions to make, my friends. What are we going to do behind the Dahlia? What colors? Ooh, I'm thinking we're going pink. Just because I think the light colors look so good behind the dark. So maybe we'll use like this pink diamond and see how that looks. Now, obviously, it takes some time to put the foam tape behind these. You don't have to take the time to do this. And quite honestly, for our live today, you're not going to want to see me putting it behind all of these Dahlia petals. So I just won't. I'll just pop them all up now, and then we'll put some glitter cardstock behind it. But when you're in your own craft room and working on your own projects, you can take the time that you need to pop all of these up and put a little bit of adhesive behind them. It is so satisfying to peel them up. I feel like, you know how the kids have like these little fidget toys and the little poppers? If you're a parent, you probably know what I mean. They're like these little silicone poppers. For some reason, this is making me think of that. It doesn't make the satisfying pop sound. I know that's kind of disappointing, but just the way that you can just spend some time lifting all these up. It's calming and relaxing. And some of you guys agree we are going pink. Okay, so I'll just lift up these last few around. You can either just bend them, or if you want to crease them, you can also crease them. Again, I think it would depend on if you are hand delivering this card or if you're going to choose to pop it in the mail, because I would be a little bit weary with all the dimension in the mail. I would definitely make sure to put the adhesive behind it if I was putting this in the mail. All right, and there's some little pieces up top. I can just grab my nails and get under it, or I can always stick a little stylus and pop them up. But I think this is pretty good. So now you can see all of that cut out dimension, and we are going to put some pink diamond behind this. So pretty. I love it. It's funny, when I was in high school and even in college, I was not a girly girl at all. Not even close. Okay. Like when I say not even close, I mean, I was wearing Metallica t-shirts. I was wearing big baggy pants. I was never seen in a dress. And I certainly would not be so excited about pink glitter. But here we are. I'm totally excited about the pink glitter. I cannot help it. All right, just going to trim a little bit of that off so I don't have too much overlap back here. And let's lay down some adhesive. And I card everyone. She's loving the nails matching. You're right. We have a very black, dark theme going on here. I'm wondering if you guys also like Halloween, because I feel like it's a holiday you love it or hate it. I don't think a lot of people are indifferent when it comes to Halloween. Okay, now we have these. Like I said, don't worry that it's all a mess. I'm just going to put lots of adhesive here and just stick it all down. I know that, again, those of you with children, your kids probably have Halloween costumes. Maybe they're getting excited about trick-or-treating. I'm just switching out. I just ran out of glue tape, so I've got another one here. Okay, this card panel is getting the treatment of tape. Look at all that. Okay, let's pop this up. And then we're going to play with the petals a little more just to, you know, really make it stand out. I wish that I didn't spend all that time. And then when I put the adhesive on, I smushed it all. Some of you are probably screaming at your screen saying, Jen, don't squish those petals. You just spent that time lifting them up. What are you doing? But you can see how glittery and pretty all of that is. See, now that I'm looking at it, this is totally like a goth card. Wow, this came out a little darker than I had anticipated. In hindsight, I think I would have gone with my original plan of doing white. But for like a Halloween card, yes. I wish I had a Halloween sentiment that I could use on this, because I feel like we need a cute little Halloween sentiment. All right, let me just use a stylus to pick up one of these guys if I can. He's stuck in there. I don't know where my sharps. Here's the sharp stylus right here. All right, we're picking him up right like that. Okay, and this, yeah, this is a Halloween card. It's got to be. All right, so that is our first. I'm not going to call it a project because I told you I'm not finishing projects today. We're just playing with some paper and things. So Christine says she turns her around and put 3D glue on each piece. Very smart. That way it's an easy way to get the glue where you want it. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, you guys don't want to sit here while I'm live and watch me put adhesive on every petal. That would not be fun. But this is just a way to show you one way that you can use this. And again, this is a dark and moody card now. It needs to be a Halloween card. I will turn this into a Halloween card later, but for now, we will set it aside. And I've got one more thing quickly to show you. This is, oh, we can't see when we have all the lines here. Let me put something behind it. There we go. All right, so this is the cover die. We were talking about finding all of those little pinwheel shapes. And what I did is I saved all of the little pieces that popped out. And what you can do is kind of assemble it like a puzzle. How fun would this be if you cut it in lots of different colors? Maybe 6 times, right? Cut it out with 6 times. And then you would end up with all of these shapes in 6 different colors. And then you could piece them back together and you would end up with like 6 different but coordinating backgrounds for your project. The other thing I was thinking, and again, this would be more inspired by the sample card that I created for the back. Let me show that to you again for those of you who are just tuning in. So we have a few shapes like pinwheel shapes here or there that you can feature by either stamping them with color behind if you have that simple shape stamp set, or by doing inlaid die cutting. So if you did this in the different colors, maybe glitter, because I'm clearly on a glitter kick right now, and then you can piece them together in different ways. So let's just make this a black and white card, right? I've already committed. I'm wearing the Halloween nails, the Halloween shirt, the Halloween hair clip. I just made a very dark gothic flower. We're rolling with this. So I'm going to go here and let's see if we could just add a little bit of color to some of these die cuts. I do have our lovely ink blending tools. These are the small ink blending tools. And we do have this really cool case that you can buy, and they store them perfectly. And I'm just going to grab 1 or 2 of these. I'm not spending a lot of time right now ink blending. This is going to be some quick and dirty ink blending. And I'll just grab some ink. This will be cute. We'll do some greens. Now, I don't know about you. I am messy crafter, like messy to the extreme. And if you want to protect your surface before you do your ink blending, you totally can. But for me, I'm just going to go for it right here on my cutting mat. I'll clean it up later when you guys aren't here anymore. So we have these here. I might just temporarily stick them down because I already know they're going to start going all over the place when I start blending. This is just a piece of tape from when I die cut it. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of repositionable tape. Those of you just coming in here are probably like, what in the world is Jen doing? She has lost her mind. She's taping triangles to her cutting mat. Why, yes, I am. Okay. So now these are here. And let's go with sweet leaf. And I'm just blending right over. Okay, I wish you could see that better. There we go. Just a little bit of a glare. And I think it'd be nice if they were all similarly blended, but you can definitely get different color values if you wanted to go some darker, some lighter. Okay, so there we go. I promise they are green. Okay, so let's leave that like that. And I'm looking at the time. Like I said, I don't want this to be a full-fledged project. I'm just giving you guys some inspiration, kind of kickstarting your creativity, and maybe you're going to find something you're like, yes, I think I can figure out what to do with that die set too. Okay, so let's take these here. What I would do, I'm not going to do it now, is I would adhere this down first, just because you want to make sure that it's in the correct position. But right now I'm not going to, because I would definitely need to get my 2-in-1 glue pen and go around that whole edge. And when we're live, I just feel like there's some things you guys probably don't want to sit around and watch me do. And spending a few minutes gluing probably isn't on the list of exciting things to watch today. But for these other little pieces, I will just pop a little bit of foam tape behind each one, because I think it would look cool if they were popped up. And I'll show you how you can get this look started. You can just do the 4 pieces, but probably once you guys are gone, and maybe tomorrow over the weekend, when I'm thinking of what to craft, I'll probably go back and add more details to all of this, because I think it would look really cool if there were different areas popped up in different colors. So let's stick this one down and figure out where these can go. Since I'm not gluing this down yet, I'm just going to take a bit of tape so that doesn't shift. And like I said, I'll get this later. Okay, so a little bit of tape up here just to tack it down, and a little bit more over here. And now we can figure out our placement. I think I might do this top right area. I think that would look really pretty, because then I could put a sentiment on the bottom left. And you can see now it is just like putting together a puzzle. So I'm popping one down here, and then I'll get the other 3. And once you have the die cuts colored, it's so easy just to put this back together. It's not like other dies where, let's say you wanted to do an inlaid die technique and you're thinking to yourself like, oh my gosh, which die belongs where? I'm so confused. These are all the same shapes. So it's the same triangles, the same parallelograms. So no need to fret about that. So this is pretty simple to assemble back together. And then I would probably go next with this shape here and do that maybe in another bright color and pop them in, add a sentiment, adhere this down, and then that would be good to go. All right, let me check comments once more, or just ink each piece. What if you blended lots of colors on a piece of cardstock and then die cut it with the cover plate? That's an amazing idea, Sue. That would definitely be a time saver, or you can even cut it out from some of our watercolor cardstock packs. We do have a lot of 6x6 packs that aren't specific designs. They're just kind of watercolor backgrounds. Or, oh my gosh, my favorite is the Celestial. Let's see if I can reach that here. How amazing would this be? Okay, now I'm going to just take a look at this. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to save this for later because I will get back to this, but I want to see what this cover die looks like on top of paper from the Celestial paper pack. And Sandra says, why would you not want triangles on your cutting mat? I know, right? We could just leave them there permanently. Just always have triangles on the mat. Okay, just trying to carefully get this out. And let's see what this looks like. Oh my gosh. Okay, this will be another card soon, I promise. What do you need? You don't need to do anything else. Just cut this to the size of your card, the 4 1/4 by 5.5. Die cut the die, place it on top, add a sentiment strip anywhere you want. It would look great in the middle. It would look great coming off the bottom. It'd look great centered up top. Stick a sentiment on there. Find your favorite part of the paper, maybe like this. That will be a phenomenal card. Okay, so there are a lot of ideas here. Let me pop you back up so I can see you guys before I sign off. Okay, there we go. Nice to see everybody again. We were on a journey today. Like I said, it was so many ideas, and I wish I had time to show you everything, but this is why we have a blog hop, so that you can go see everything or go to the website and see what we have uploaded. So let's say there's one thing that caught your eye. Maybe, you know, I didn't show this to you, so maybe you were thinking, what about the painted blooms? I really like that design, Jen. What am I going to do with that if I buy it? Go to the website and just scroll through some of the sample projects, and then you can see if it's something that you want to purchase, if it's something that you can see yourself using and loving. I've got a lot of things on my to-do list now because I definitely want to finish this card. I want to take all these little shapes that I have everywhere now on my desk. I want to take all those shapes. I'm going to blend them in different colors, or if you don't want to ink blend, just take some different colored cardstock. And like I said, crank that through a few times, and then you'll have all these pieces colored. But I kind of like the variation color you get when you ink blend. So you could see it's not completely solid. You have a little bit of natural variation that happens just when you're blending. So I would probably blend these all in beautiful pastel colors and maybe even leave some areas black just as contrast. So you have the white outlines, the lightly colored shapes, and then some black areas that are flat. On the cardstock, not popped up, just for contrast. I also want to finish this project because I am very excited about it right now. Whatever it was that one of you said about, oh yeah, I think it was Sue, just ink blending a bunch of stuff onto a piece of cardstock and then cutting it. That's what inspired this, because I was thinking this does kind of look like different blended areas on one piece of cardstock. So thank you, Sue, for that epiphany. And then lastly, I would want to make my unconventional Halloween card, which was definitely not my original intent, but because I used the black cardstock, I feel like we have a really cool gothic look, but it's still fun and cheerful because we have that beautiful glitter cardstock behind it. And yes, I will spend more time popping up all these petals and properly sticking some adhesive behind them, just so that more of that lovely pink glitter cardstock pops through. I'll find a little spooky saying, or we're going to use my die set that we have. Where did I place it? The Mighty Alphabet die set. And we can just get spooky. Boo, spooky. You can get different letters. I think if I just did it in white, right on here across, boo, done. It's a floral Halloween card like you wouldn't expect. All right. Well, thank you again so much for chatting with me and crafting with me today. And I hope you guys have a phenomenal crafty day and weekend. And don't worry, we will be coming back and popping in a comment with the winner of the $15 gift certificate if you are somebody who did share while we were live. Have a great day, everybody.